I feel the morning air come drifting in with coffee stain. And I take a whiff and close my eyes. And I fold the old deflated pillow to my ear and climb into the old recesses of my mind. Just leave me here in bed, where I can lay my head. And I'll take tomorrow instead. I never came, I never saw, I never conquered much at all. The man that is fine enough by me, the world seems fine and still a turning like before. And I guess it wouldn't mind if I go back to sleep. Just leave me here in bed, where I can lay my head. And I'll take tomorrow instead.
Hey, we're hot. Stand by.
Oh boy.
Hello, and welcome to the Bottleneck World Premiere. I'm your host, Andrew Lyman, and I won't be talking like this all night. Let me introduce everybody over here. To my right, we have our cameraman extraordinaire, Mike Z. He's going to answer all of our technical kind of questions. We have our audio mixing engineer, boom mic operator, and all-around purposeful person, Kaylee. She's here as a cheeseburger in paradise. To my left, we have Angela Metzger, who helped out in all kinds of capacities, writing the script, helping us set up the props, mixing the fake blood. Without her, there wouldn't have been any fake blood. So let's give her a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. To my immediate left is my co-host and co-star of the movie, if you'll go as far as calling us stars, Adriana Medina. So she played a character whose name was, what was the character?
I think I was just a jogger.
Just the jogger. And
The jogger victim.
And I'd also like to give a shout out to Sean Ford. He was our creative genius behind all the music and the sound effects, and really brought the movie together by telling the story through sound. And I think it gave the whole movie a very dynamic feel. I think he did an excellent job. So another shout out, Sean Ford. So in case you're wondering what the movie was all about, it was for the Two Roads Brewery Company, Rosemary's Baby horror film competition. They put out a call for any independent filmmakers to create a film between 4 to 7 minutes long in the horror genre. There were some rules. We had to have product placement. It had to be between 4 and 7 minutes. And we had to use a line of dialogue that they created, the road less traveled. So every movie had to follow those certain criteria. But other than that, it was up to whatever the individual film companies wanted to do, and it was a very fun experience. I had a ball doing it.
It was awesome.
Tonight at 8 o'clock on the dot, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be premiering that movie.
Might be a little earlier. We'll probably do it around like 7:45-ish, I'm figuring.
All right.
Just because I'm sure people don't want to sit here all day looking at me.
All right, so are they seeing you right now?
They're seeing me
Oh,
right
okay.
now.
So right now on the
Even
screen,
introduce him.
I didn't. Well, I
Introduce
didn't.
the
I didn't know.
director.
I thought he was just in the control room today. So the mad genius behind this movie and our director Brian Metzger. Everybody, round of applause for Brian Metzger. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I have to freely admit I was late getting here, so I'm not as 100% prepared as I could have been, but I blame it on partying till 4 a.m. last night. So, with that being said, I believe we will be taking some internet we will also be showing another film that we all worked on. Do we have that for at some point tonight?
We can.
If we
have time, we'll run it out. Yeah,
all right. It was also a short film that we did for a 48-hour film festival. A lot of the film festivals here in Connecticut are run in conjunction with the Nutmeg Institute and our good friend Trish Clark. So a lot of the creative minds in the Connecticut scene come together and do things with this institute, and she puts on different film festivals throughout the year, and they're really fun to watch what other people come up with. You know, everybody's on a volunteer basis. Nobody's doing it for the money. You're doing it because you like to have fun and make some films. I was fortunate enough to be able to go to the screening with Adriana at Two Roads Brewery last Friday night. Mike was also there, and they gave us free beer, which was nice. It really was. I mean, walking in and getting a free beer. I don't know if they do that all the time. Don't go in and say, no, Andrew Lyman said, So,
Didn't you bring a marker with you in case somebody asked you for your autograph?
I did. I had a Sharpie.
In case somebody asked for his
It
autograph.
went unused.
No one asked? You should have just started signing people's hands or something.
I did write Bottleneck in the porta potty. So,
shouldn't admit
we
that.
we did have some advertising. And then during the competition, they screened it in front of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, so in front of a crowd of 500 plus. We got to see our movie.
Talk a little bit more about what was there, because I know you sent a lot of pictures and stuff of like events. There was bowling, fire.
Yeah, at the Two Roads Brewery, when we were walking around and seeing what was going on, there was
pumpkin bowling. What else was there?
A cornhole tournament going on. They had
a lot
food.
of local businesses were there. Yeah, it was actually really fun. It was a lot of fun. I grew up in Stratford. That's where Two Roads is, so it was really fun.
There was food vendors there. I had some artisan beef jerky. It was delicious. Gave me the gout, so I got that going for me.
My mom just said, "Hi, Mom." My mom just texted me saying she's watching us. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
She said we look great, guys.
So right now you are seeing pictures from that night. So looks like, how many people were there?
Throughout the night, they just kept coming in until it was a sellout, and they had to start turning people away. I would guesstimate that there were at least 500 people there. I mean, I was really surprised.
They had the room for it. There was a lot of space for everyone. You had to bring your own chairs. That's the only thing. There wasn't that much seating, so we had to bring your own chairs, blankets, just in case. But it was fun. It was like a camp out kind of. It was fun. Yeah,
they have a really nice outdoor spot, and the weather couldn't have been better.
It was
we didn't have a cloud in the sky. They had a nice big fire pit that they were maintaining, and people were sitting around. They also had a spray paint artist throughout the night, had a giant white board that she just kept working on, and by the end of the night it was a mural of pumpkins and a witch and a skeleton. So that was real interesting to watch throughout the night, just kind of a extra little thing that Two Roads Brewery did for the Pumpkin Fest. And then there was a great selection of beer there as well. They do the artisan beers, including their Director's Cut Pumpkin Ale, a very special Rosemary's Other Baby.
Very quickly.
It did sell out. It was a 10.2 alcohol content level, so you didn't want to drink too many of them, but it was definitely a beer for a beer connoisseur. If you think Coors Light is too heavy, you don't want to try one of those. But if you think Coors Light's too heavy, you got other problems. One of the fun parts about being at the Two Roads Brewery Film Festival was hearing the crowd reactions, and as the movies were playing, because it wasn't just our movie, they had other movies playing there. They had one, what was it called, Pumpkinheads?
It was called The First Rosemary's Baby.
The First Rosemary's Baby, where every actor in the movie wore a pumpkin over their head with painted faces. I thought it was hysterical. I couldn't stop laughing.
The other one was Lake Branfield, I think.
Lake Branford.
Lake Branford. And that was actually pretty good. I think they used their drone a lot. They got some really cool shots. So
I mean, their movies paled in comparison to ours, obviously. And if you're ever watching out there, please feel free to call or chat in. I'm not sure exactly
we are live.
How we're taking this. Is there a hashtag for this I should be promoting, Brian?
Hashtag Bottleneck.
I don't.
2018.
No, just chat along, but Zach's still the only one. So.
All right. Well,
hashtag Bottleneck, guys.
We appreciate you sticking in there, Zach. Does anybody else have anything to add at this point? Mike?
In terms of the audible response, our film got a really everyone was really grossed out.
Yeah.
The reactions and everything. And there were even people that looked like they were looking down at their phones and then immediately looking up to the screen going, what is happening here? So we got people's attention with the film and everything.
Definitely did.
Yeah.
It was a good film crowd too,
yeah.
Because up until they started the airing of the films, everybody was talking and having a good time.
They had a costume
their own
contest at one point too before the film started, so they had some pretty cool stuff before all the films were screened. So it was pretty cool.
But when they announced that they were going to start showing the films, all the crowd noise went down, and everybody sat down and got ready to watch the films. Yeah. So I was like, oh, they're actually here to watch the films, because I was afraid these people are just going to keep talking the entire time they're showing our film. You're not even going to hear it.
It was a Rocky Horror Picture Show, so they were just getting ready for it.
There was some good costumes for the costume competition as well. They people really came out of the woodwork with some unique costumes, and some. The one that won, however, I think just had the most friends there.
Yeah, that's probably why they won.
It was just a mounted deer head, literally a mount around his neck and antlers.
One guy had a jack-o'-lantern suit. I thought that was the most tackiest thing in the world. I was like, oh my god, my eyes. It was hurting to watch, but it was fun. It was really cool. To prepare it, versus the 48 hours where we literally had 48 hours to put everything together and, you know, really fast. I think with this one, the project, you know, we had the time. We reshot it. Literally, it was shot in 3 days. We started on a Sunday. We shot another scene Monday, and then we did like a reshoot of another scene on Tuesday. So we had time to just, you know, clean things up and redo something if we didn't like it. So definitely time was on our side for this one. So we were able to put out a really good product.
But this is only my second go with these folks.
These crazy people.
I got a lot more sleep this time.
Oh yeah, we worked 24 hours.
I definitely think we grinded for this one, but like not as hard. And I thought we were all a little fresher, so the product came out a little bit better instead of just keep going throughout the night. And I think the story was well developed because we had the time as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think being able for Brian to edit for a day. And then because it was Sunday we originally did the first main scenes. And then Monday we did the beginning. And then Tuesday we were kind of like, well, it didn't quite come out exactly like we pictured. So let's just kind of regroup and do it again.
Right.
Yeah. And that's just something that we typically don't have the option to do.
Yeah, it was nice having that option to reshoot. And from the way it came out, it looked so good that it was obviously worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
big difference.
But when you're doing the 48-hour film competition, you know, it's a different story. You'd rather get them the product that you can get them by the end of the competition than nothing at all. And this one gave us a little more time, and I appreciated it. I liked going home and going to bed, and I'm sure that Brian did too, because he would stay up for hours on end on some of the other projects.
Right. Well, I think it was nice because, you know, when I did the first rough edit after the first day, and I thought for sure, I was like, oh, it's going to be good. But then we looked at it and we're like, oh, some of the shots didn't quite land. Like the bottle break scene, you know, remember we struggled trying to break the bottle, which I'm giving away a little of the story here, but there's a bottle break scene. And doing it again, I thought was a much more powerful start. And then the ending was much more powerful. Just some little pickup shots here and there. What'd you think of the audio, Kaylee? I always comment on the audio. It's our toughest thing that we have to finish.
I feel like I definitely did a better job this time because I had more of a feel for it. And I think like your audio came out really well. There's a lot of like little sounds in this film that we could easily pick up on the boom that we weren't really picking up on the last film. There's a lot. There's 4 people and trying to boom 4 people in a quick area while they're all talking is not the easiest thing to do. Someone's voice is not going to sound the best, and yours didn't sound great in the other film just because the boom had to be the other way. But this time, I think we nailed it with it. We were able to hear all the words, and
everything was clear.
Keeping the small crew and not having too many people in there because it being such a confined area that when it was time to be quiet and start shooting, it got so quiet that all of a sudden we actually heard the clock timer for the outdoor lights ticking in the background,
and motorcycles going by.
Brian had to go and cover it with a wet towel. You know, I was like, we were really picking up some great audio.
The sound was so crystal clear that it's like, oh, we gotta redo it. I heard something fly by.
The neighbor's dog barking.
Yeah,
and
the motorcycles. There's like multiple
cars,
motorcycle times. So we like had this. We nailed the shot, and I was like, we gotta redo it. There's motorcycle sound in the background.
At one point, some guy came up banging on the garage door. I was like, what's this all about? Just saying that, you know, when it comes to eating pizza, I'm pretty good at it.
Alright, I'm gonna buy a house for St. James Place.
St. James Place?
Yep.
You cannot win Monopoly with St. James Place.
I have the whole strip though.
It's all about the boardwalk, baby.
I have the whole strip though.
I once saw a dead body on the boardwalk. Once.
Yeah, okay.
Bullshit.
It's true.
Why can't you just be a nicer person?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Where have I heard that before?
That was from last year.
Right. Ah, it was probably the cat.
You heard that, right?
Yeah.
Probably the cat.
Okay.
It's not creepy at all.
Well, I do have some news. I just put a down payment on a mansion. It's kind of a big deal for me, so.
You are such a liar. You can't even keep a job.
Yes, I can, and I'll have you know that I was just offered a full-time CEO position at a huge company. I bet you feel pretty stupid right now.
Here we go.
Oh, I feel stupid?
Yeah.
No, you're stupid. This game is stupid. You guys aren't even playing
every
right.
game I
To finish
Alright,
that.
alright.
He treats me like this every.
Oh,
Awesome.
great.
Just what we need.
Okay.
Alright,
You know what?
I found some candles.
I'm heading to the bathroom.
I'm gonna get some more candles. I'll be right back.
Oh, it's the wife. I gotta take this. I'm going outside.
You know, I
Totally did see a dead body at that boardwalk. Call me a liar. Okay.
Tales of the Four Wicked Children.
I don't know why we gotta go through this. I go out on Friday nights. It's game night. No, I did tell you. I did tell you. No, you don't listen. That's the problem. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
When living with anger, you're not playing nice. Once darkness comes, you'll pay the big price.
Better be on your way home soon. Got it? Andrew? Andrew, where are you?
No one likes a thief, as stealing is all they do. Be careful what you take, as your soul can be taken too. If you play with fire, you'll eventually get burned. When the flames hurt, the tables have turned. The hard way is how the lessons are learned.
Gotta be here. Gotta be here. Come on. Gosh.
Guys. Guys, that's not funny. Adriana? Adriana? You okay? I'm coming in. Guys? This isn't funny. Really pissing me off. Joke. Being truthful is always swell, but being a liar never ends so well.
Well, here's a cheers to Wicked Children. Great job, everybody. Boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cheers. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you can sleep later tonight.
So that was just a taste of what's to come. If that one frightened you, which we know it didn't, but if it did, what's coming later is a lot scarier.
I still jump when I watch Wicked Children, even though I know what's going to happen. I still jump. It's like, dang it, Ron.
So again, that was Wicked Children, and we did that for the 48-Hour Film Festival 2018. There were some people that weren't able to be on the Bottleneck crew that we missed. There was Nina Dicker, who was the actress in the movie you just watched, and Juan Caraballo, who was one of the actors with the lighter in the basement. So if you guys are watching, hey, nice to talk to you. Chat us in. Ryan will relay the message. If anybody else who was watching has anything to ask or say about Wicked Children, we'd love to hear your feedback. But in the meantime, we got to get back to the Rhodes Mary's Baby horror film contest. That can we announce that we won? Can we? I don't.
I think that's perfect time. So why don't you go through it?
I wasn't sure.
I just heard you.
So if you bleep, okay, we're gonna re-edit that for the re-air. But in case you guys didn't know, we actually won the film competition. Congratulations to us. Very nice, very nice. And I don't think we could have done it without Brian. I mean, he is definitely the backbone of this crew, and it's just good that he's decided to stop acting. Because if anybody would have seen him as my sidekick in Havoc, you would have known that it's just not his best ability. I'm not saying it's his worst, because I've spoken to Angela, but it's definitely not. I was talking yard work. What? Come on, yard work. People, get your mind out of the gutter. All right. I did a night of stand-up comedy last night. I don't normally do stand-up comedy. I usually do sit-down comedy with my coworkers, but it was, what is it? Who? What?
You're fine. Keep going.
Oh, okay.
Doing over there.
So if the jokes are still rolling, I apologize. It's just something that I was doing. So let's see. What else do we have here on our notes?
Hey, why don't you... So... About the first prize, it's out the bag. What did we get out of that?
Well, first, a complete sense of gratification. But we also won 500 big ones. Ooh. Not millions, $500. So, and for film competitions, that's actually a very good prize. So we were happy about that. And then we also got a swag bag.
Yeah.
And there was some, this bottle of the Other Baby, which I had a glass at the festival, and it was delicious. It's got some T-shirt. What else? I think, I don't remember. There was something else in it. Maybe a
I had the bag and
button
I gave it
in
right
the
to
bottle, bottom of the bag. But we also got to sit there and watch our film be announced the winner in front of the crowd.
You can't describe that feeling. It was great.
Because we know what it's like not to be the winner. So we have that down pat, although we've done some great stuff. It was nice to be recognized for it. Definitely. And hearing the response of the crowd, because there was a lot of audio feedback from the crowd as they viewed this movie. Yep. So you can only imagine what the noises.
Were laughing so hard. When we're seeing it, like, oh my God, we were laughing. The people were grossed out. We were just laughing.
This was the first time you guys even seen the film.
Yeah. And I found out Mike saw it. And I'm like, Mike, you saw it? He's like, yeah, Brian sent it to me. I was like, what? You saw it?
There was a reason why. And the reason why we did that was because since we weren't able to attend, I was really sad because I was like, we're top 3, missing out on a big golden opportunity. Because being able to show your film in front of a couple hundred people, that's a pretty powerful thing. So I asked Mike if he could maybe videotape or take some good pictures. But I wanted you guys to have a genuine kind of feel, because I think that's something special you don't get very often.
Right.
No, it was. And
I forgive you, Brian. I was like, Mike, you saw it before us.
Yeah, you just ride up here on a natural high for a few
Yeah.
days after a win of any sorts. Even Little League soccer.
It was a good start to that weekend. It was on a Saturday, right? So it was a good weekend. Yeah, it was great.
What was the general crowd reaction? Were they shocked? Thought it was funny? Like scared? What was the theory?
I think because even in the gross parts, that you heard people going ooh, then you heard somebody go oh my god. Like people were just like they didn't know what this was gonna happen. Compared to the other two films that were shown before us, we were shown last. So the goriness and all that, we had the most gore, the most shock value. So people were just like, I feel like they didn't know how to react. They were laughing hysterically. They were grossed out. So it was a mix of everything.
We got them to look up to the screen. We got their attention.
Yeah.
As soon as even like the sound was.
Yeah, the sound was
well
great.
done because it would just got even the sound alone got their attention to look at the screen. And so I think.
And Andrew's redneck accent.
Yeah, I try to do accents. It might have fluctuated a little throughout and gone from Tennessee to Louisiana in that general range.
Yeah,
my character had a backstory that I really can't get into. Abused as a child. You know the life of a serial killer.
You know the kind.
For any of the tech heads out there that are watching, the movie was shot on a Blackmagic Cinema pocket camera. We used Rokion lenses. We were changing out a lot of lenses, getting a lot of different depths of field in there, to give the movie a lot of feel and texture with, some pretty creepy close-ups. And I believe it was edited on the Adobe Premiere. So, if anybody out there uses that kind of equipment, you'll know some of the things that we had to work with or were up against. And for having I would say a moderately budgeted technical package to work with, I think we nailed a home run, and it looks fantastic.
And some of the reasons, in terms of creatively, we went with the pocket camera because it works so well with the 48-hour film, and also kind of, I think it gives more of kind of that gritty type of cinematic type of feel that we're going for the film. And also they're very small, so we can move them around really quickly. It's not like a big, huge camera, hence pocket camera in the name. And so, and also we did dual camera, just like the 48-hour film, and that tremendously sped up the time in terms of having an A/B camera filming at the same time. And I think they do it for a lot for like TV shows and everything, but like movies you don't see that as much, and maybe unless like you have a shot where it's an action shot and it can only be done once or twice or something. But this, for us, it speeds up the time tremendously to get those two shots at the same time. And it's a really good strategy that I think we're going to keep doing going forward and everything. So,
Another thing you might notice while watching the film, there was a definite, a color tone set to the staging area that we were shooting in. We definitely were trying to give it a darker tone, and we, a lot of more the red orange tone with just
like orange gel.
If you've seen our poster, you can see it really clearly in the movie poster.
But then with some blue accent, just to try not to have everything monotone, we were trying to nail that. Funny story, when we were shooting, I'm so used to doing the 48-hour film festival that when I went home, I threw away the outfit I was wearing. So when Brian called me 2 days later saying, hey,
we have to reshoot something.
We got to reshoot something, come on back and make sure you bring that shirt, I actually went outside to the garbage, and unfortunately, garbage night was in between the first shoot and the second shoot, and it was empty because, trust me, being in the garbage wouldn't have made that shirt any dirtier. So we had to get yet another shirt and try to mimic the look and feel of the grunginess. And when I watched the movie back, I could not tell throughout those shots that there were two different shirts. So the way it was shot and the way that Kaylee really worked the blood and the gore into my shirt, it looked almost identical to the first one. So everybody did a really nice job, especially on the day of the retakes. One of the when we were at the Two Roads Brewery for the competition, there was a lot of I don't know, buzz about the film competition, because it was the first year that they had done it, if I'm not mistaken. It was the second year of their Pumpkin Festival, but it was the first year that they did the film competition. So, you know, the people that ran the brewery were around talking to us. The people that ran the competition were around talking to us. And all the feedback we got from them was that they really enjoyed the movie, and it was an easy choice picking us the winner. So it was.
That felt good to hear.
It did feel good to hear, because you know we've been, and what was this, our at least fourth movie together?
I think so, yeah.
So you know you get that sense of comfort working with somebody. So whereas, you know, in the first movie I would have never done the things to her that I did in this fourth movie. So
and you'll see why when you watch.
Definitely trust.
There were parts where, because there's shots that Andrew has to go over my face and he's, you know, talking to me all creepy like. So as we're filming, there was a lot of, I had to lay there like so still because I'm drugged. So I'm just laying there, and as Andrew's talking and they're filming it, my smile starts to form and I'm laughing. It's like, I'm sorry.
She could feel my breath.
And like how he was saying some of the words, I'm like, I'm sorry. I can't.
Yeah.
It was it was so funny. But that's you know, you like that, especially people you know you've worked with before. It's very comforting and you have a good time. We had a great time. So I enjoyed every minute of it. So.
At one point, Brian said, when you get close, see if you can just dribble a little spit down, but then you know, don't let it hit her. I'm like, I don't have spit control like that. I'm not gonna spit on my co-host. That just would have been good. So I won't tell you what I did to her. You're gonna have to watch the movie coming up in a little while.
I want you to be surprised.
But yeah, we would like you to be surprised. I hope we're not, you know, giving away too much.
No, well, honestly, it's 7:30, and I think we probably have as many people as we're going to get tonight. So unless you guys have any last-minute things, I think maybe it's time we kind of show this to everybody.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Yes. If you've eaten...
Absolutely.
If you've eaten right, just be careful. If you've already had dinner. Especially ham in any form. Ham at all, or any type of meat.
And remember, this film does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Two Roads Brewery, although we did it for them, with them, and sponsored by them. But other than that,
we have an open slate. We're clear.
They wash their hands of anything that you may see.
I'm not sure if you mentioned it. I know we touched on it. So the whole purpose of the whole film, we had that one line we had to say. We had certain things we had to include. The whole purpose of the film competition was to showcase Rosemary's Baby's beer. Which that's the other one.
That's the other one. But
so we had to show the beer can, the beer bottle, a coaster. So the whole film was centered around Two Roads beer, Rosemary's Baby, their pumpkin ale. So you're gonna see that probably throughout the entire thing, because that was one of the requirements in the film competition. We had to showcase their beer. There's a lot of product placement in this film. So
yes, but tastefully.
Yes.
Tastefully.
Yes.
You know, it's not. You'll barely even notice it.
Very subtle.
Very
it's
subtle.
It's very subtle. You won't even know.
Yeah, it looks like any other bottle.
So with all that being said, and congratulations to everybody here in the room that was part of the film. Anybody that's at home, especially, let's make sure to give that shout out to Sean Ford for doing the audio for us. Great job. Everybody stay tuned. In a few moments, we're going to be premiering Bottleneck for the Two Roads Brewery Horror Film Contest. Thanks for watching.
Hello? Hi! Oh my god, hi, how are you? No, I'm just jogging. I mean, why, what's up? Yeah, I'd love to come over. What time? What time is this? 7 works. Yeah, that's perfect. Give you some time to head home, shower, and... Okay, thank you so much. I'll see you later. I can't wait. Alright, bye.
Me and you, we gonna take the road less traveled. Have us some fun. I think we need us some dinner music.
Hey, have I got something playing for you? Hey, it's on its way, so don't you move. Something's cooking, don't go looking around here. Something's coming, I've been drumming it up for years. Hey, have I got something playing for you? Hey, it's on its way, so don't you move. Something's cooking, don't go looking around here. Something's coming, I've been drumming it up for years.
Who that?
Who do you think?
Juan, meet me out front.
Hey, it's on its way, so don't you move.
You taste good. There's always two roads. You just took the wrong one. All right, bravo, everybody. There you go. There you go. You will never look at me the same. But I'd like to do a cheers with the pumpkin ale, Rosemary's Other Baby. There you go. Cheers. Enjoy. I might have finished mine.
That's a lot stronger, huh?
It is.
That's a lot stronger than before.
It's a 10.2. It kind of has a little burn after it almost.
A little bit.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm good.
But delicious nonetheless. So that was our movie, Bottleneck. Let us know your thoughts. We can now openly talk about the movie, things we were kind of holding back on, and hopefully we didn't spoil too much for you. But it was going a little farther than our previous movies. We got a little darker, we got a little creepier. I was trying to do a creepy voice. Hopefully I succeeded. There was one point in the movie where I said something like, yeah. And the first time I did it,
laying down at the table, but I was like,
we had to do like 3 different takes to get her to stop laughing. And then we got one good take where she didn't laugh. But then we said, okay, we won't do that anymore.
I tried to make myself be the darkest person I could be. I was like, no.
And I'm actually glad we lost all the other yas, because having the one alone, I think, was creepy enough.
Oh my gosh.
So obviously, this is the first movie that Brian's done where I don't die. So I've died in a lot of Brian's movies, and this time
the tables have turned.
I got to kill. Now in real life, I usually don't kill. Like I kill a buffet, but that's, I killed the rest of his pumpkin ale. But it was a stretch for the person I am to play somebody so dark. But it was fun bringing yourself to that other place. How do you deal with it all the time, Mike? Oh, and in case anybody didn't know, he is Captain Ron. If anybody didn't know the costume, I didn't know. I apologize.
I still can't believe you didn't know who
I have a must-watch movie now.
Russell?
Snake Plissken. I love Kurt Russell.
He's basically Captain Ron. They just gave him the long hair and the eye patch again. Yeah.
Really
Big
quick,
Trouble in Little
Brittany.
China?
My
No,
sister wanted me to
different
say
one?
hi to her.
All right. We also wanted to apologize. We got some feedback saying that the audio was a little glitchy. It turned out it was because of the chat feature, so we kind of disabled the chat feature on that. At least the displayed chat feature. You could still chat, and Brian was relaying us some stuff. And sometimes when you're live streaming to YouTube, people take hits and whatnot. We will be re-airing this on YouTube tonight.
On our Facebook pages as well.
I'm going to upload it. Yep, it'll be a high-res video, just like any other standard YouTube video, no buffering or whatnot. My mom says she can never look at you the same way.
My mom said you were great. My mom texted me saying, he was great.
Creepy bastard.
Creepy
as a school teacher, I don't know if she can show this film in her class. So.
I hope she wouldn't.
Hey, no animals were harmed during the filming of this movie. That pig was slaughtered weeks before at the farm, sold to ShopRite, but we didn't personally do it.
Yeah, that piece of meat that you saw getting cut was what was it? It was
pork tenderloin.
It was pork tenderloin. They saran wrapped my right thigh, and then they saran wrapped my thigh, and then they medical taped the meat to my thigh over the saran wrap.
And we actually had a hose of blood
running
up
in
her
there.
leg into the meat, so that when I cut into the meat, the blood really started flowing.
I had a tight framing on that when I was filming it, so I knew when I was looking at okay, that's fake. But as I'm looking through the camera, I'm going, oh my god, oh my god, oh no, it's not. Oh my god.
And after a while, like throughout the night, the meat was starting to smell, and it was still taped to my leg. I was like, this is getting really rank right now, guys.
And that's
hurry.
why the blood was a mixture of like
corn
syrup and Worcestershire sauce, and
yeah.
so the smell that was in her hair.
It was in my nostrils for like 2 days. I was like, oh, I'm still smelling it.
It was pretty rank.
And then when we started cooking it, and then gave it the splash of beer, and it started steaming everywhere, you're like, wow, this is not for consumption. So the piece that I actually ate was pre-cooked and
that's
done
good.
in a real kitchen, not in the garage.
Yeah.
And it was delicious.
Angela, your sister says she almost puked.
Good. Yes, that's good.
It's a good review.
And
Is
this
that going on Rotten
was
Tomatoes?
My younger
Almost
sister just
you.
texted me. My sister said
Amanda.
I want my sister's
Amanda?
autograph. I love you, Brittany. Thank you, Britt.
So when we were talking about the crowd response at the film fest, obviously the part where the knife really gets in there and the blood starts oozing.
That's when we had
That's when you heard people getting squeamish, and when 500 people get squeamish at once, you're like, wow, you really don't like this. And that's when the guy next to me recognized me. You're the dude in the film.
We were in the back. We're like, okay,
head
what's
down.
Oh
But
You whip out your marker and be like, "Hey,
Would you like my autograph?
he enjoyed it. He said good job. So if some stranger can't enjoy my film, who can? There were a bunch of bloopers that were shot during
Thanks to Michael.
he saved every shot. Well, we had over 100 shots, right? Or a little under 100 shots when it was all said and done, because every time you're doing a shot for the thing, you just, one all the way. And I remember 78, 85.
So let's go again. I'm going to
But how many shots were actually used in the movie? What was the timeline? 30? Maybe,
I never really counted.
Well, there were a lot we didn't use. Probably more that we didn't use than we did use.
There were some
we
things
did
that we wanted to
multiples on
do that
everything.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Tried not to overshoot it. Keep it as clean as possible.
So we did have some pretty good outtakes, and they've put together a blooper reel for us. Brian, did you create this? Or did Mike?
This was all Mike.
All right, so Mike put this blooper reel together.
I have not seen this. I want to see
He
this.
did this on his iPhone iMovie. No, what program?
I added this in Final Cut Pro 10 because I'm a Mac person.
All right.
Brian's a PC
You're a Mac
person.
man.
I don't get that whole deal.
You're the macaroni.
Yes.
You're a Mac
And
man.
I actually shot it with the Sony A7S, so it's a totally different camera from the Blackmagic. So, but there are shots mixed in from the Blackmagic from the bloopers. So, yep, it's a mix of shots. So.
I want to see this blooper.
Are we ready to air the blooper reel? All
Let's do
right.
it.
Well, without further ado, here's the world premiere of the Bottleneck blooper reel.
World premiere. Do you want it by her face though, or do you want it?
want
Do you want it by your face, or do you want it down by that leg,
Well,
just so you're not blocking her?
I think we need some dinner music. Some of the hippity hoppity, maybe. Why are you smiling? Why are you smiling? Is this close enough? Or do you want me to fake it more up here?
Ow, my head.
I'm sorry.
Oh, the
We only-
table went on and went down. I know what was
We only gotta
happening.
do it like 5 times. I'm sorry.
You're killing me!
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I like them French fried tater.
Mustard and gravy. Mustard and biscuits.
Oh, we gonna have us a good time.
I'm gonna try some more. Oh, I gotta do
Oh, that one sounded gritty.
Whoa. Oh, wow. She really stuck that in there.
Go, Angela.
All right, so you're. All right.
Jeez, oh my god.
Let's not put it down all the way.
Gentle.
28,
Is that better?
29,
yes,
and the movie's over. All right, well, welcome back. The movie may be over, but the fun never stops. Good night. No, just kidding. So let us know. Let us know your thought of the bloopers. We're still the chat room is open, even if you can't see the display on the window. And remember, the whole movie will be uploaded in HD at some point tonight, and you could watch it hundreds of times, over and over and over. Share it with your friends, spread the word, Get it to Steven Spielberg if you know him, because we could really turn this into something much bigger than it is right now. We're just starting. This is our first win, but not our last.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're coming for the 48 next year. Yes.
Problem with that is you gotta wait till next year.
Yeah,
but who knows? There could be stuff in between. There's always something to do. One person that we didn't thank and an actor that we didn't acknowledge in the movie was Brian Angela's dog, Charlie. Charlie did a cameo at the beginning. Great appearance. He
stole the show. He stole it.
Yeah. He didn't have a lot of lines.
He came in, he knew what his job was.
He turned on cue.
He did. He turned, he looked right at it, he knew exactly what he was doing.
And just so you know,
the camera was.
if you didn't know, that first shot with Charlie, that wasn't Andrew. That was Angela. That was Angela. Because Andrew wasn't there that day. Because we shot the main scene on a Sunday. The jogging scene we shot on that was Monday, the day after, and Ange had to take Andrew's place for a little bit.
I had to practice. Brian was yelling at me that I wasn't like moving my legs the right way.
Wait a minute, is this an expanded universe? Are you the one who got her, and then Andrew's the one that?
She's the wife.
Oh, yeah.
The wife.
Expanded universes. We gotta keep this open here. Sequels.
And a special appearance by Juan, who knocked on the door at one point.
Good job, Juan.
You know, we wanted to get him in there. It's always good to have Juan in the movie.
We missed
Gotta have one.
So,
Gotta have one.
Well, I just thought overall it was a great experience. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed working with everybody.
I've always
and
wanted
I
to
look
be in a
forward to doing
horror
it again.
film, so this was just this whole experience was great. Like I talk about it all the time. After we shot it, like I kept telling my coworkers about it. I was just so excited. It was such a great project. I loved it.
And if you have anything to say, please feel free to chat in. We take some questions. And we definitely encourage people to go to the Two Roads Brewery. It's off exit 31, 95 down Stratford, Connecticut. And try some of their custom brews. And I think they sell it to go too. You can get those 4-pack of IPAs or whatever your heart desires. I like the Hefeweizen. That was one of my favorites there. I went back and got a second one of those because it was just extremely refreshing on that cool autumn evening watching me cut into her leg.
It's a German beer.
It made you hungry.
It
If this made you hungry at all, that's okay. Don't be ashamed if it made you hungry watching this film.
Suddenly have a craving for meat.
Yeah.
It's the other white meat. It's what's for dinner.
If you want to talk about it really quick, the part where he's actually, because the meat was taped to my leg, he's actually cutting it right there while it was on my leg. And I'm not going to lie, it was a little scary because I felt at some point, I thought that it was going to get close to my actual leg. So I was getting a little scared. I was flinching on the table, but thank God Andrew knew what he was doing.
There was nothing in between.
Yeah.
Meat and her leg.
It was the saran wrap and the meat, that's it.
Just the trust of,
yeah.
Not going too far.
Don't go too far.
At one point, somebody said, "Can we just stab it in there?" And we're like, "No, there will be no stabbing."
Well, let me say what my mindset was. Originally, I thought it would be a great idea is if he stabbed the knife in the leg when, the knock on the door or whatever came in, and then he would walk away, she would then take the knife, cut the ropes to the hands or something like that, and then as she hears him coming back through the door, she would stab herself back in the leg. I thought that'd be a wild thing to see, but
if you didn't notice as
she was
well,
afraid.
I had bandages on my neck. The whole point of that was because he ripped out my voice box so I couldn't scream. So in case anyone was wondering what that bloody patch on my neck was, it's because my voice box was removed. So I couldn't scream.
We didn't actually remove her voice box.
Obviously, I wouldn't be here if it was.
It's
not recorded. This isn't a recorded message.
Another thing, if you notice when you're watching the movie, I break a bottle for the kill scene. And we had to shoot that in several different ways. And the first few times I took that bottle and smacked it on that metal table, and it did not break. It literally just went clank, clank.
Two Roads got good bottles.
So yeah, the bottles are definitely tough. And we ended up coming up with an alt way to break the bottle and an alt way to shoot it. And I hope you enjoyed that part because I bled for that. It cut me a little. I didn't complain, Brian, but I just wanted you to know I bled for your movie. Not as much as her leg, but...
You want to talk about bleed.
And also the part where we're sharpening the knives and all those sparks are flying all over. Those little suckers hurt. I'm just letting you know right now.
Andrew's a real MVP of this whole film.
Yes,
Well, honestly, guys, I mean, at this point, we're almost at 8 o'clock, a full hour, and I think everybody seemed to receive it pretty well in the chats and everything. So unless you guys want to go down the line and last thoughts, and we'll let everybody go enjoy the rest of their Sunday night and Halloween. So what do you guys think?
Captain Ron?
Hey, just have a good time making the film, whatever film you want to make. Enjoy. Be with the right people to make it, and yeah, just do it every day, whatever you can, and make something good.
Yeah, I definitely had a great time, like, hanging out with them. Like, it was always entertaining, even late at night. Like, there's always jokes going around. Like, it's always a fun time with them. Even through the multiple reshoots, it was still a good time.
Liking the people you work with, I think, is key, and enjoying each other's company while you're waiting through the slow periods of shooting a movie, because a lot of being an actor turns out to be waiting around and then being told, no, do it again. So as you do that, you have to like the people that you're working with, and everybody on our crew was great, and I just want to say thanks for letting me be a part of it.
I'm sorry, Dad. We'll get you to Walking Dead in a minute. My dad just texted me. Pretty much everything they said. You know, for me personally, I loved horror films. So the fact that to be able to be a part of this project, it was. I know it sounds cliche. It was a dream come true. It was so much fun. You know, working with the right people, especially with a film like this. You know, it's trust, it's comfort. It's just, you know, you have a good time making it. Brian, Angela, they were great. I mean, this wouldn't have happened if it weren't for these two. So. Definitely. I mean, when it comes to film, there's so many different things you can do. You can experiment with different ideas and just go for it. If there's something you want to do, try to go about it as best you can with what you have. So, yeah.
I think my final thoughts on this film would probably come to the music. I think Sean did a really great job with that song in the cutting of her pants. When we were going through the edits, Brian had to play that at least 10, 12 times just to make sure we got that. I was like bopping, I was singing along. I was like, this is like the best part of the movie.
The music.
So yeah, props to Sean. That music and song was awesome.
Brian, your 2 cents?
Final thoughts?
Can't thank everybody enough. I mean, this was probably our best project to date. I mean, the 48 Hour was a huge success, huge growth over last year. The camera work was amazing. The audio, I think everybody knows, was a night and day. Acting was much more clear. The story was better. By doing these short films where we actually have some preparation and time and the ability to reshoot, we're only going to get better. So I hope the next couple projects, which Angela and I were already talking. I know everybody, we've been talking together. Definitely we would do something really soon. So, and nice thing is with this $500, we're going to be able to pay for next year's 48-hour film. We don't have to go in our pockets. We're going to be able to get our pizza and our beer for the weekend, which is nice. We're going to take the remainder of the money. We're going to do a little dinner for everybody. We're going to try and do it before Thanksgiving.
Aww.
So that'll be fun. And honestly, the next project, maybe something by Christmas if we get the time.
Holiday movie, I think that's next.
Someone kept saying comedy. Apparently our last film for
Comedy, come on, guys. Let's get it together.
Comedy holiday movie.
I don't know if you noticed, but I'm kind of funny. Looking.
He's still going.
I'm still going. Well, hey, everybody out there, thank you very much for tuning in to the Bottleneck World Premiere. Again, you'll be able to rewatch this whole podcast, its entirety, on YouTube starting shortly, and the video will be uploaded in HD quality for you to download and share and talk about and watch incessantly. So for everybody here in attendance, and Charlie Bear, thanks for watching. Have a nice Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Take care. Nothing is as sweet as you. Hungry for your love, hungry for your love. Baby, don't you know that I can't get enough, and I know there ain't nothing we can